Erev Tov, Rabotai. It says in Pirkeh Avot, Heve zanav la'arayot velo rosh l'shu'alim. What does this mean? It's a very interesting piece of Torah. Right? It says that, right, be the tail of the lions and don't be the head of the foxes. That's what it says, right? Better to be the tail of the lion than to be head of the fox. So what is this talking about? Right? We have to understand a little bit, right? What's going on? First of all, right, we have to understand one thing. That the lion is the king, right, of the beasts, right? The melech. He's the melech of all the chayot, all the, right? And the shual is like a little guy, right? He, when you see him, he runs away. He's afraid of you. He's scared. He's a scaredy cat. A little guy, right? Nothing much, Right? So we have the shual. So better to be the tail of the lion than to be the head of the fox. So what is it talking about? The Mefarshim say like this. What it's talking about here is like this, that if you want to grow in Torah and mitzvot, right? How do you do it? You have to make a plan, right? What's your plan? What kind of plan do you have? So the best way to do it is to go with the arayot, where the lions are. What does that mean? The big chachamim, Go over there where the big chachamim are. Wherever they are, right? Where are they, the big chachamim today? Most of them are in Eretz Israel, in Yerushalayim, places like this, right? Bnei Brak, in Eretz Israel. The big chachamim today are there. Most of them, There are some also. So, outside also, but in Eretz Israel, the big people are there. So if you want to be right, if you want to learn Torah, go to the lions, go to the arayot, and be their tail. What does that mean? Like sit down on the floor and be their talmid. Humble yourself. Just listen to their divrei Torah because they're lions. So what you're going to learn from them, you cannot learn from other people. The depths of the Torah they're going to teach you, the things they're going to teach you in the Torah. How to be also, to be chacham, to be, whatever. I'll tell you something interesting. There's, you want to hear something interesting that says in the Talmud? It says in the Talmud like this. It says Rabbi Yehuda Nasi. He was the president of Am Yisrael in the time after the second temple was destroyed already. Rabbi Yehuda Nasi. So says Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, he says, there's a halacha like this, brought down in the Talmud, in Masechet Eruvin. If Rabbi Yehuda Nasi argues with his rival, halacha is always like him. There's a rule like this. If he's arguing he's the one, by the way, Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, who wrote the Mishnayot? Rabbi Yehuda Nasi. He was the one who wrote the Mishnayot. This was the first part of the oral Torah Sheba'al Peh, that was written down by Rabbi Yehuda Nasi. He was the one who wrote this, right? So halacha is like him. When he argues with his friend, halacha is like him. That's what it says in the Talmud. So it says Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, he gives a reason for this. Why halachas like me? What, I'm better than everybody else? The truth is, Rabbi Yehuda Nasi was a special guy. What made him so special? Because he was from David HaMelech, he was from the Malchut, he was from King David, it's a big thing, not a small thing, right? To be from Malchut and Bet David. That's one thing. Okay, that's a big thing, but it doesn't mean just because you're from King David, halachas like you all the time. Doesn't mean this. If you're a king from Malchut Bet David and you're Am Haaretz, what, we're going to make the halacha like you because you come from the Malchut? Who cares about your Malchut? You're Am Haaretz. We're not going to make the halacha like you. Right? So, why was the halacha like Rabbi Yehuda Nasi? So, you know what he says, Rabbi Yehuda Nasi? He gives the reason. He says, you know why I'm sharper? More charif, than everybody else, than all my colleagues? He says the reason is because when Rabbi Meir was giving the drashot, the shiurim, right? Rabbi Meir was a Gedol Hador before Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, right? But he saw him. Rabbi Yehuda Nasi saw Rabbi Meir. So he says when Rabbi Yehuda used to give the drashot, I used to see him, watch him. Where was I sitting? I wasn't sitting in front of him, he says. I was sitting in the back of him. So I saw the back of his head. But he was so kadosh, Rabbi Meir, the chokhmah was so great, even to look at the back of his head made you into chacham. Just to see the back of his head. You can imagine, right? So he says, Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, the reason I'm better than everybody else is because I saw the back of the head of Rabbi Meir. If I would have seen the front, I would be even a bigger chacham. You understand? So that's what we're talking about, right? When you're going to be with the arayot, when you're going to be with the lions, just to see them is already a big thing. You don't have to hear nothing, just to look at them. You know? Why? Because when you see a big chacham like that in front of you, it gives you emunah in your heart, you know, in your neshama. You see somebody like this. I'll tell you the truth, this is exactly, I can tell you myself. 15 years, I was in Yerushalayim watching Maran, Rabbi Yerushalayim. Big chacham, the biggest chacham of the generation. Right? Maran, Rabbi. I was watching it for 15 years. And Baruch Hashem, I was zochet to see the front, not the back only, right? The front also, you know? But this, you know what when I would look at him, what I would see? I would see a person who has perfect faith in Hashem, you know? 100%. No doubts, no sfekot. No vapros, you know? Vapros? What vapros is this? Everything is 100%, you know? With a big chacham like this, he believes in Hashem 100%. He believes in the halacha 100%. He believes in emunah 100%. Nothing, there's not one room for a little doubt over there. There's nothing. So when you look at somebody like that, you know, it wears off on you, you know. It's like a radiation, you know, karina, you know, that's what they call it, right, in Hebrew. The radiation also gets you. You get also, right, the radiation from him. You get you get the emunah from him just by seeing him. So this is what the Pirkeh Avot is saying. The Pirkeh Avot was saying, you know, that it's better to be the tail of the arayot, you know, watch them, you know, go and see them. Go see where they are. Because if you watch them, what's going to be, right? One day you're also going to become Ari yourself. You're going to become a lion, you know, in Torah. Because you're sitting with the lions. It wears off on you, you know? It's like a, you know, it's like a disease, you know? It's like, it spreads right to you, you know? It spreads right to you. So that's the way it is. So that's why the Pirkeh Avot is saying, right? Better to be the tail of the arayot, but don't be rosh l'shualim. You know what that means? Don't be the head of the foxes. So who are the foxes? What's the mashal, right? The mashal is the Amei Aratzot, you know? Don't sit with the Amei Aratzot, you know, and be the leader, you know, of the Amei Aratzot, you know? I'm a big chacham, you know, like, they don't know nothing. I know something, you know, a little bit, 5%, you know, 2%, whatever. I know more than them, you know, and I act like a big shot, you know? A big guy, you know? I'm a big chacham. You're not a big chacham. You don't know nothing, but these people are Amei Aratzot, and you know more than them, so you think you're a big shot. That's what it is, you know? This is not going to make you into a big chacham, because you're sitting with people who are Amei Aratzot. They're not going to teach you nothing. You're not going to learn nothing from them. You know? So what's the point of being there with them, you know? That's exactly what it means, you know? So if you want to learn Torah, go to the big chachamim, you know? Don't sit with the little people, you know? You're not going to learn nothing from them. What are they going to teach you? How to read Patach Eliyahu every day? What they're going to teach you? This is what they're going to teach you. What is that going to teach you? That's going to teach you to be gadol in Torah? That's not going to teach you much, you know? What is it going to teach you? What, to say Kaddish? Itkadav, Itkadash, Berabah. What, you're going to become big chacham because you know how to say Kaddish?
But you have to prepare to be a next to be chacham.
You have to prepare, you're right, you have to prepare. You know? The best way to prepare, by the way, is just go, you know? Go and sit there. You know? And that's it. This is what happened. Yeah, so this is a good question, by the way. How do you know who's big chacham, who's small chacham? How do you know these things? Who told you? What? Because he's a big guy, you know, he has a big chest, big shoulders. Well, that makes it, or he has a big beard, you know, or a big peot, you know, antennot, you know, like this, you know, coming out of it. That's what makes him into big chacham? No. What makes him big chacham? He's famous for that, you know. You ask people, you know, who was the big chacham? Everybody tells you, oh, this guy, yeah, he's the one, you know. They know him, he's known in Am Yisrael. Rabbi Cutler used to say, you know, the Rosh Yeshiva of Lakewood, he used to say, Am Yisrael, they know who's their gedolim. You know why? Because they feel it, you know. They know this chacham is teaching Torah to everybody. He's writing books, you know, and you know he's teaching drashot, lots of drashot. He's spreading Torah. He's learning Torah. So you know you can see, right, that he's a dayan, he's a posek, you know, he's a big chacham. So everybody, you know, goes to him for Torah. This is the big chacham, you know. That's the way it is. That's how you know, like you can see, you know, if you have a little bit of a, you know, intellect, right, sechel, you can see who's the big chacham. So that's the thing, you know. Being the Rosh L'Shualim, being the head of the foxes, you know, Amei Aratzot, this is not going to help you. What is it going to? You want to be a big shot, you know. There's a Rambam, by the way, it says this, you know what the Rambam says, right? It says the Rambam that there are some young chachamim, you know. They just went to yeshiva for a few years, you know, they studied, like, you know, let's say he's 21 years old, 22, you know, just got married, let's say, right, whatever. So, you know, he's not having children, you know, his wife is pregnant, you know, whatever. So he's wearing a hat, you know, he went to yeshiva for 4 years, you know. He has a hat, he has a nice suit, you know, nice tie. So, you know, he thinks he's already a big chacham. So what does he do? He sits there right in front of the Amei Aratzot, and darshans Torah in front of them. Why? Because they don't know nothing, So he, to them he looks like a big chacham, but he's really not a big chacham. He's just a kid, just got out of high school. You know what I mean? Just finished high school, but he sits there, and talking to them, but he doesn't know what he's talking about, and they don't know what he's talking about either. Nobody knows, not them and not him. So this is the Rosh HaShualim. He's the head of the foxes. Doesn't help him, doesn't help them so much either. Why? Because he doesn't help him because then he's not learning nothing from them, because they're not really so interested in Torah anyway. And also doesn't help them either. Why? Because he gives them the wrong halakha. He doesn't know how to paskin halakha. He didn't reach that level yet, so he doesn't know what to teach them the paskin halakha. So it's not good for them, not good for him. Says the Zohar Kadosh, by the way, about this Pirkeh Avot, something interesting, right? Something a little bit deeper. Says the Zohar Kadosh, when it says don't be, I'm sorry.
In order to be that great chacham.
Yeah.
First step, who is supposed to be before to be great chacham?
Yeah. First step, Aleph Bet is the first step, go to learn Aleph Bet, Aleph Bet Gimel Dalet.
No. Before that, people are preparing to be big chacham.
Yeah.
First, you have to be good human.
Of course, yeah, of course.
This is one of the first things.
But you know what it is, right? That if you don't have Torah, you don't know how to be human either. Like it says in Pirkei Avot, it says like this, right? Exactly what you're saying. It says in Pirkei Avot, Im en Torah en derech eretz. If you don't have Torah, there's no derech eretz. If Im en derech eretz en Torah. If you have no derech, there's also no Torah. So, but it goes both ways, If you have no Torah, you also don't know what's derech eretz. You don't know what, you don't know who told you, who taught you. What you think is derech eretz? No. You have to see what the Torah says is derech eretz. You know what I mean? That's the real derech eretz. That's exactly what we're saying, right? Anyways, this is Zohar Kadosh, something a little bit deeper. You know what it says? The Zohar Kadosh, it says that, why does the Pirkei Avot say not good to be Rosh HaShualim, to be the head of the foxes, to be the big chacham of the Amei Aratzot? Why is not good? So it says the Zohar Kadosh, it's very bad. Why? Why very bad? Because if you are the Rosh of the Shualim, you are also what? You're also a Shual. This is the problem, you understand? You're also a Shual. You're the Rosh of the Shualim. You also are Shual. You're also Amaretz. This is what it is, you understand? So when they look at you, when they look at you and you're sitting with the Shualim, with the Amei Aratzot, they say, oh, you're sitting with them? You're also Shual. What do you think, right? You're also like them. You know what I'm saying? So the Zohar is telling you, right, that if you go with the Shualim, with the Amei Aratzot, you're also going to be Amaretz. That's what you are, the head of the Amei Aratzot. That's what you are. That's why it's not good to be like that. You understand? So even this is the question. I'm going to finish. I don't want to take too long, but what do you call it? The interesting thing is like this, right? That if you look at the Pirkei Avot, you may think, you know what? First I'll be Zanav Arayot. First I'll go to Yerushalayim. I'll learn with the Vikachamim over there. And I'll be the tail. And I'll and then I'll become Ari myself. Lion. Ari. I'll become Aryeh. And then I'll come back, to Rigo Park, where Forest Hills, right? Whatever, right? I'll come back to 108th Street, right? Whatever, right? I'll come back here, and then I'll be the Rosh of the Shualim, after, because now I'm Ari. So says Pirkei Avot, no, if you're the Rosh of Shualim, you also are Shual. You're not an Ari. That's the thing, So what does that mean? That a person, who learns Torah from the Arayot, from the big Chachamim, what should be the next step after he becomes also big Chacham? He should teach people who are also, like they have a good neshama, strong people, not people who are not interested in Torah, they have no interest, they have no inyan. They tell you, no, don't teach us these things, too much, too much for us. We have to go with people who are the good neshama. They want to learn, they want to grow in Torah. So then, right, if you become, that's the proper way to do. First, be the zanav of the arayot, and when you become ariyeh yourself, when you become ari. So then what you do is you find arayot who are little arayot, they want to become big arayot and raise them. But don't ever become the Rosh of the Shualim. Right? That's not a good thing. Why? Because the Shualim, they don't want to learn Torah, they don't want to learn Shulchan Aruch, they don't want to learn Bet Yosef, they don't want to learn Talmud. What do they want to do? Read Patach Eliyahu every day. That's what they want to do. Right? That's not Torah. That's not real Torah. You know what I mean? You understand? That's the way it is. Baruch Adonai Le'olam, amen, amen. רבי חנניה בן השומר, רצה הקדוש ברוך הוא לשכות ישראל, ולפיכך הרבה להם תורה ומצוות שנאמר לחפש, למען צדקו יגדיל תורה ויאדיר.